Merry Christmas. So one part of my sort of political education prior to me even self-identifying as someone who has an interest in politics at all was that I used to watch Adam Ruins Everything as a kid. Right? I used to watch that show. I first saw him on College Humor. I watched that on YouTube. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought Adam was pretty funny. And then I followed him when he went from Adam Ruins Everything on College Humor to being on True TV, and I watched his show. And he was very political, but he didn't really market himself as being a very political guy. He marketed himself as being a facts guy. And something about that's always bothered me, looking back, that he was like, oh, I'm Mr. Facts. I'm like, well, facts are never neutral, buddy. You're Mr. Politics, especially these days when he's got his own podcast. And every month I just see a new, podcast headline of him saying exactly what every other liberal is saying in this incredibly predictable, algorithmic sort of a way. I don't know. No hate Adam's direction. I would welcome an interview with Adam Conover. Come on the pod, Adam. But no hate his direction. But I don't think he's just this neutral facts guy. And some of the positions that he expressed on the show were a little bit weird and alien too. And this is a really great example of one. Okay, for some reason, Adam Conover decided that it made a whole lot of sense to criticize the practice of giving Christmas presents. And his argument was very strange. His argument was that because of game theory reasons, I think he used game theory for this one, you will never have as much information about the person you're buying a gift for as they have about themselves. And thus, due to a problem of imperfect information, you will never actually successfully gift them a Christmas gift that they will be most happy with. And so, according to the math of game theory, you must give them money if you're gonna give them anything. Money is the ideal Christmas present, because then they can just buy themselves whatever they want. Why guess what they want? Even if you have a 99.999% chance of knowing this person, you probably don't know them as well as they know themselves, so why not just allow them to buy what they want for themselves? This is stupid. This is nonsense. And not only is it nonsense, it's a little bit inhuman, isn't it? Right? There's something a little bit inhuman about it. I'm not saying that Adam Conover isn't a human being. I'm saying that an ethereal, non-human force temporarily infected Adam Conover's head. It's not a demon, it's not spiritual, okay? I'm using a metaphor here. It's a little bit inhuman. Because, for one thing, okay, he's a leftist, right? Since when do you give a shit what game theorists have to say? This is game theory. These are the people whose ideas are rooted on a foundation of perfect self-interest and maximal logical behavior. Perfect knowledge, perfect information. That is not the case in the real world, right? So you're basing your ideas off of the same people who came up with Homo economicus, which you would likely criticize when discussing the economic issues of capitalism versus socialism. So, weird to be using game theory in your argument, first of all. Second of all, okay, I have wonderful parents. And they, to this day, at 26, 27 years old, always manage to put me to absolute shame by buying just the best possible Christmas presents. Like, Christmas presents that blow my mind. And I don't mean like they're super, super expensive. I just mean they always know things that I want that I didn't know I wanted. And that's what Adam missed. Adam missed that other people can totally know you better than you know yourself. In fact, I would argue that you know very little about yourself. If I was trying to think, what are my main interests? The last few years, what are my main interests? What do I want as a person? right? I think the answer would be politics. And so I'd be like, oh, buy me some politics stuff. Politics brings me no joy. There's no light or sincerity in politics. But, you buy me something else. You buy me, in this case, I've been given a monthly subscription to foreign exotic foods from different countries. And I love trying foreign exotic foods. And I would have never thought to buy that for myself because it's expensive and it has a high time commitment. I would have never thought to get that for myself. But now I have it and I love it. And it's amazing. So, actually, presents, here's the other thing. There's something beautifully social about the act of present giving. It gives someone permission to have something for themselves. It is, if you're being good and responsible in life, and you should be trying to be responsible with your money, then you're gonna want to budget. You're gonna want to have savings. You're gonna want to spend money on things that really matter. You shouldn't be like a shopaholic who's constantly buying everything you could ever possibly want the minute you see it on Amazon. That is an unhealthy habit. The ideal system, the ideal state of shopping would be for us to have the restraint to not buy these things for ourselves, to not instantly become a shopping addict on fucking Amazon, like, because we're all fucking shopping addicted now to this freaking ridiculous consumer app. That's dangerous. That's a bad mentality. We shouldn't be doing that. Instead, we should have restraint. We should focus on the essentials. We should get through our lives, and then we should buy each other beautiful, surprising things that show we care and that show we know them and that show that other person that they have permission to have a thing that just brings them joy. That is what gift giving is for. It is for the social phenomena of giving another person permission to experience joy. Adam. I still love his show. Who am I kidding? I love him.